right, here we are. You know, we started backyard business literally in my backyard. And then we found out that there's beautiful, incredible backyards. We were at Coca-Cola Park and so many other gorgeous places. But today we're at Lehigh Country Club. And, you know, I've done presidents on when I think of Business Matters, which was the genesis of this, presidents, secretaries of state, Indianapolis 500 winners. But I'm really excited, John Chassard, to be with you. Number one, your longevity. Number two, your knowledge. And you're just a good guy. So first of all, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate that, and you're very gracious. So I'm happy to have you here. Welcome to my office.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very fortunate to have an office like this. So.
You know, I was thinking Monday morning, so technically the course is closed.
That's correct.
And I shouldn't say I never realized, but the amount of incredible people that have worked so hard to make this. And I'll tell you what, you know, you work for a lot of members, a lot of very successful members who have high standards. So there's pressure with this job.
There is. And a lot of the pressure comes from dealing with things you can't control. Obviously, the weather. And this year particularly has been very challenging. I'd say it's probably been one of my most challenging years.
Yeah.
We've had close to a month of 90-degree temperatures.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you that. But so people that have lawns that'll be watching it, my grass, which I really love to take care of, is horrendous. And what happened? Because we had rain and we've had sun. I would think that's a recipe for a great lawn.
It's like anything else in life. Too much of any one thing can be bad. So, you know, we had the cooler temperatures coming in the beginning of the year. We had all that rain, which was good. You know, it got us out of a drought because we were in a drought. But then all of a sudden we went in the mid-July, you know, we started getting warm and we had those days that were approaching 100 degrees. And that combination of real wet soils and those kind of hot temperatures can almost cook the grass in the ground.
So literally that water that's in the ground in the 100-degree temperature is almost boiling, if you will. And
that's a good way of putting it, because it's, you know, it's not literally boiling, but it does affect the roots of the turfgrass plant that way.
So you've been here for how many years?
42 years.
This club for 42 years. You know what? That's absolutely incredible. Craziest story. I mean, animals. I think you've probably seen every animal on the planet here. Did you ever have a bear on this course?
I've never seen a bear on the course.
Okay.
Obviously, we have eagles. I've seen the osprey comes through every fall and spring. We have a lot of bird wildlife. I mean, we're Audubon Sanctuary golf course, so we would track and monitor animals. I mean, obviously a huge deer population, but yeah, coyotes, fox.
Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And you have an interesting universe. So you have people that are members here that, again, it's exclusive, if you will. And then you have a staff that's, you know, young people that are just getting in. Do you like, I assume how many employees do you have?
We have 25 on a daily basis.
Do you like working? I mean, you got to manage people, and that's.
I think one of the best parts about this job is that it's very relational throughout the whole club. You know, so I deal with my staff.
Side,
I deal with the membership. I deal with other co-workers throughout the club. So and you handle everyone a little bit different, you know. And then part of the challenging aspect of the course out here is identifying any skill set of any individual person and then really trying to build on that. So, you know, some guys can be great at hand mowing greens, but they're not good at mowing fairways. And, you know, some guys love raking bunkers, some guys don't. So, and everything out here, to a certain degree, this is a canvas. And every day we're presented with a canvas, and it's up to us to be able to detail it and finish it off to make it what it is.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I never realized, again, when I'm here, usually there's tons of activity, people playing. But when you see here and give it a rest, it's a beautiful sanctuary.
It is. I mean, I love this time of year. I love getting into the fall. Obviously, I love winter when the golf course is covered in snow, because I still love being out here, but it's that peaceful feeling where it really becomes like my sanctuary.
What do you, so equipment, obviously you got tons and tons of equipment. And I want to say this, that down there is the stream, which is just absolutely, what stream is that? Is that Lehigh?
That's a little Lehigh.
But there are times when that, you know, bad rainfall, that can just basically wipe out your hole down there. I guess when you have
Yeah,
a
we
big,
won't talk about that today.
when you have that rainfall,
Knock on wood, we haven't had any floods for a while.
Are you in there praying? Please?
Oh yeah, we've had some severe damage in years past with flooding and trees coming down the river and ending up on greens and all kinds of things. We actually an oil tank, a fuel oil tank that holds, obviously fuel oil for the house, broke loose from a residence up the stream. It floated all the way down and ended up on that green.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
what?
It was crazy.
Oil tank.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's crazy. That's the stuff that happens. So, wintertime, world slows down. Is that a chance? Because I would assume in this job you could work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Oh, we
really.
do. We do. It's 24/7 for us. Winter obviously backs off a little bit. I mean, we are responsible for snow removal throughout the club, and as there's quite a bit of a lot of parking lots and roadways in and out of the club. So, but outside of the snow removal, we do a lot on the golf course. We'll work out in the course as much as we can, tree work, projects, construction, whatever's going on that year. We do need to spend a good 6 weeks inside working on equipment. We have over a $2 million equipment inventory. So we do a lot of preventive maintenance, a lot of reel sharpening. So we'll employ 12 people through the winter to keep up on everything.
What people might not know is that soon, next year, you're going to have a big time event here. I mean, you're going to have the PGA,
the Champions Tour.
The Champions Tour.
So the senior element of the PGA.
Tons of people, and of course, I mean, is that pressure for you? Are you excited about? I assume you're excited, but at the same time, that's some pressure.
There's pressure. There's always pressure. I mean, I'm excited about it. Obviously,
yeah.
I think obviously I feel we've got a great property here, and it's going to be nice to showcase it on a national level. But yeah, the time of the year is ideal. We're going to have it at the end of September, early October. If it was in the middle of August, I'd be a little bit more nervous, if you would. But I feel like, the golf course is going to present itself very fine that time of year, and looking forward to having the guys out here.
I want to talk to younger people that watch this, which I'm thankful that they do, about, the crazy things in life that get us to you've been in this job for a long time, and you absolutely love it. I can tell that. I mean, this is your world. But how did you get into this?
I guess, I was fortunate enough to grow up on a golf course, so to speak, and be in a country club environment. And I just fell in love with the idea of being outside. I started going to school for something else and decided to change gears. I was working on a golf course at the time, and I thought, I really like being out. I don't know if I want to be confined to an office. I don't know if I want to be confined to any one thing. This position offers a lot of flexibility. If I want to be up in front of the membership and showing my face, I can do that.
Yeah.
If I want to run and hide down behind the 12th green, I can do that.
Yeah.
So it offers a lot of flexibility, but I'd have to say I'm more of an outdoorsman, and I love being outside.
What about managing humans? I mean, again, you're working for a lot of people. I don't know how many members there are, 400 members or whatever the heck there are, who have opinions about, and they experience your universe. And I want to talk about two things: managing that, and your personality. You have a good personality, as well as the new world of country clubs, if you will.
Yeah, I think managing people, finding the right help, playing the political role that's needed here. There's a lot of moving pieces through all of that.
Yeah.
If finding good help. Obviously, I'm only as good as the people I can surround myself with. So I need 25 very capable people that are invested in doing the best job they can possibly do on a daily basis. And that's hard to find. So we do an HT.
Which are harder to find than ever, more and more every year?
Every year.
Yeah.
So I think that becomes more of a challenge, which would probably cause me to retire sooner than later,
So gone are the days. I want to mention that because a lot of people, business people watch us, are for a lot of people that came here and stayed here. I'm sure in your past you had employees that, did this work, hard work, manual work, but they stayed. That was their thing.
Yeah. When I started, 42 years ago, obviously there was an established crew, and a lot of those guys stayed on through their retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And 2-3 years ago, I had 3-4 guys that started with me that have since retired. And it's hard to replace that historical knowledge of the golf course, because those guys grew up here, saw a lot of changes, as I have, obviously. But, so you're bringing new people in, you're trying to get them up to speed. And it can be very challenging.
Is the new member, if you will, or the new universe, younger members and so on, changing not necessarily what you do, certainly changing clubs, if you will?
I think, as a superintendent, we're always our own worst enemy, because, there's a standard that the membership expects, and we try to go beyond that. So, the highlight of the year has always been member guests. And, 20 years ago, we would peak in the middle of July, have the best conditions possible, and then take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Anymore, every day is like a member guest. and that's the way we approach it. We try to have consistent playing conditions from spring to fall. And I think the membership has come to expect that as well.
Yeah.
You have a lot of competition from other clubs. People watch golf on every weekend. They see what goes on at other championship golf courses. They want that here, so there's always that challenge in balancing what you can do on the golf course within budgetary limitations too.
Yeah. Sure, you've got a budget like everybody does. That's a very good. So people are watching. What's like what have you learned? I mean, you've learned so much. I don't know. What are the 3 biggest things you've learned about taking care of your universe of green?
Oh, that's a good question. I think number one, patience, and understanding that I'm going to be dealt certain things that I can't control. As you mentioned, maybe a flood, and then it's just reacting in a way, not impulsively, but coming up with a strategic plan to say, okay, what's the best way to get through this, and how quickly can we get through it? And then implementing that. Yeah. So I think patience is key. Understanding that, certain things are going to happen you can't control. I've always valued the relationship that I have with the membership, with my fellow employees, and with my crew.
Yeah.
So, building on those relationships has always been a top priority for me. I think, again, to motivate people, to find out what motivates them and try to get the most out of them. And then, the balancing act of the political world up in the clubhouse, and working through that. So, and a lot of that comes with experience. That's not something you just pick up. I think you have to have the right disposition. You have to have the right attitude and, to work through that stuff.
What did you learn about people that are at country clubs? And again, they're exclusive, and the world's changing. We're losing some of that, and rightfully so, that exclusivity. We're trying to, making a more balanced universe for everyone. But what have you learned about people that are very successful? That's what you're dealing with here. The most successful people, say, in the Valley.
I think it's I think it's similar to any social class. You're going to have people that that are very appreciative of what they have and where they're at. And then you have the people that are very discontent, no matter if you're making 20,000 a year or 20 million a year, So you can quickly identify the people that are very grateful and very appreciative to be here. And then the people that are always looking for the next thing and are, I'd say, more discontent.
Yeah.
So
do you think, so you're here how many years again?
42.
Which is unbelievable.
It is.
Do you still love it?
I do. I mean, I've always said this golf course is like my third child. I mean, I probably have sweated over it, lost sleep more over it than I have my own children at times. Again,
made certain times bad or conditions, or you got to get ready for a big event. And the pressure.
7 90-degree days in a row, and grass is dying. And
the other thing, very similar to me, I want to talk about. So people, you have, I mean, there's like club in terms of there's the professional paid leadership, which we have at the gym. Then you have the volunteer leadership, the presidents of the club.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you're dealing with new leadership, and do you find that interesting? All of a sudden,
I do, and but I welcome it too, because it gives me a really good idea to get to know these guys better than I would have otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the one thing that's very special about Lehigh is its membership and those people. I've been very fortunate to be able to work with a lot of great people over the years, and obviously some of the most successful people in the Valley. So again, to build on those relationships and get to work with those guys and get to know them on an individual basis is really priceless to me.
Are you a golfer yourself?
I am.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
So I have 2 balls in my pocket. You want to see if you can which one of us? And I have a club.
You really want me to swing a golf club?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can make anybody look good. What do you think, Ellie? Can you pick that up if we go up there? All right. It's kind of a. By the way, I want to thank Ellie and Bailey. They're amazing, and they've been here bright and early this morning and walking around the
and
course.
They're walkers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we're all walkers. So, what do you say? You want to accept the challenge? See if
Absolutely.
we can do it. Okay. Who goes first?
Well, you're the host.
What does that mean?
This was your idea.
You know what? Just so for the record, well, anyway, I won't get into the yips that I have.
You have 2 balls?
Yeah, I do.
Wow,
yeah, what kind of guy do you think I am? Here you go. That's one for you. By the way, these are balls that I fished out of the water. Hey, a quick story. So I lost my temper, and because I had these yips, and I threw my club, my gap wedge, into the stream. And they were having, they have that sleepover night here,
The camp out,
and the kids were playing in the river, and they found my club in the water, so I got it back. So
you're not the first one to throw a club in the water. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to give it a try. Okay. Now, well, I won't even talk about this. I'm going to give it a try.
Should I warn my coworker down on the 11th green?
I think he'll be okay, because I can't reach that anyway. All right, we'll see if I could possibly get it over. That's really, now that I'm an old guy, it's harder than it used to be. But I'm just going to give it a shot. Of course, it takes me an hour to get my grip going. There, right there. All right, right there. All right, here we go. Ready? Come on. Go. Oh,
my, look at you.
No, you're going to see a splash, I bet. Oh!
Well, it was close, though. It was straight, too.
Thank you.
It was
it's
straight.
Your turn.
Oh,
see,
thanks.
Old guy. Lost my muscle. Now we'll see what he's made of.
I had both my knees replaced this last year, so
I think he's making an excuse.
I did get some new irons. I'm starting to work on my game again.
Do you think you could get that over, John?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a cold
Oh,
swing.
I can tell he played golf. Oh, that's my excuse. It was cold, right?
Well, no, I'm cold.
Oh my God, he did it by a mile. Look at that. Look at that. Good job, John.
It just made it.
Well, hey, John, first of all, thanks for being with me. You're a great guy. I have so much respect for what you do, and for a whole host of reasons, the quality that you produce, the amount of attention that's on your product. You're judged every single day. And thanks for being with us, and thanks for what you do.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you coming out.
Yep, and thank you, everyone. Backyard Business. What a beautiful backyard. A gorgeous place. Ellie, Bailey, thank you so much, and everyone have a great rest of the day.